Okay, in the first part we have discussed discussed about the introduction of Harrer and Domer model, and we have also discussed that the previous growth model based on the static approach, and this model, which is Harrer Domer model, it is based on dynamic approach. So that we have discussed in the first part, introduction, and the previous growth models. What are the difference between previous growth model and the Harrer Domer model? So the previous growth model based on the static equilibrium, or you can say comparative static, or in case of Harrer Domer model, these both models are based on the dynamic approach. So they dynamize their growth models. So now we are going to discuss the assumptions of Harrer Domer model. So the assumptions of Harrer Domer models are: first assumption, full employment level of income. So the first assumption is, according to them, there is a full employment level of income in the economy. Means that such economy is already on full employment level. Second, no government interference. Means there are free enterprises. There is no role of government, and so this is the second assumption of Harrer model. And the third assumption is closed economy. This assumption basically we made to in order to make the model more simple. So in case of closed economy, means there is no export and import. And the fourth one is no time lag in the adjustment of variables like saving, investment. Okay, what is time lag? Basically, in order to understand the no time lag, we should have the idea of lags. Time lags means if we do any investment now, then output comes out of this investment will take some time. Okay, basically what they have is they assume that no time lags in the adjustment of variables, and which are those variables? Those variables are saving and investment. So why they have made that assumption? Because they want to make their model simple. So according to them, there is no time lag in the adjustment. Or basically, what is time lags? Time lags means if we do any investment now, then of course output comes out of this investment will take some time. But according to them, what they has assumed, they assume that result of investment in terms of output comes immediately. So that's why they use the word no time lags. So time lag in between the variables, according to them, there is no time lag in between these variables. Means if you have done any investment, the result of that investment comes immediately. Okay, so the third assumption they have made, APS, average propensity to save, is equal to marginal propensity to save. Means S over Y is equal to saving, and Y is equal to delta S divided by delta Y. So according to them, APS and MPS is equal. Next, the sixth assumption, according to them, APS, average propensity to save, and marginal propensity to save, and capital output ratio is already given, and it is also constant. So these are the assumptions of the Harrer model. So Harrer model raised, after these assumptions, in his model he raised three questions. Okay, what are those three questions? How can steady state can be achieved with fixed saving, income, and capital output ratio? Okay, so according to him, how can steady state can be achieved with fixed saving, income, and capital output ratio? So in order to understand that question, according to Harrer, we have to understand the concept of actual growth rate. So in order to address the question 1, he said we have to understand the concept of actual growth rate. The second question that he raised, how can the steady state rate can be maintained? So this question, according to him, this question can be answered if we are going to understand the concept of warranted growth rate. And the third question that he has raised, how do the natural factors put ceiling on the growth rate? This is very important. How do the natural factor put ceiling on the growth rate? It means that we have to understand the concept of natural growth rate in order to understand the third question, which is how natural factors put ceiling on the growth rates. Okay, so these are the assumptions of the model, and these are the questions raised by the um, Herod. So the answer of first question is that according to him, what is actual growth rate? Actual growth rate is basically the ratio of change in income, ratio of change in income. Ratio, this is GA G means growth, A mean actual growth rate. So A means actual. So that means we are talking about actual growth rate is equal to the change in income divided by total income. Okay. So when we study actual growth rate, we will study how much change take place in income, in total income, due to how much change take place in income, how much change take place in total income due to changes in income. Okay, so there are several determinants. Okay, and it is and this every concept you are going to discuss, right? Actual growth rate, warranted growth rate, and natural growth rate, it has a specific time period, okay, or a given time period where we are talking about these growth rates. Okay, so there are several determinants of actual growth rate. Those determinants are for first, saving income ratio, which we will denote by S, and capital output ratio, that is basically change in output due to change in capital, which is denoted by C in later in our equation of actual growth rate, and warranted growth rate, and natural growth rate, and the relationship. So now this is basically the determinants of actual growth rate. Now we have to make a relationship between actual growth rate and its determinant, which is we are going to make in equation 1. The relationship between the actual growth rate and its determinant is actual growth rate is multiplied by capital output ratio. Here actual growth rate is multiplied by capital output ratio, which is equal to saving, and saving is over here, saving income ratio. So we knew that here it is basically delta. Here I have missed the delta sign here. Basically it is the delta y over y multiplied by delta k and delta y, which is capital output ratio, and is equal to saving income ratio. So this is the relationship between actual growth rate and its determinant that we have mentioned in equation 1. Okay, the relation in equation 1, what equation 1 basically explains that the relation in equation 1 explains that equilibrium will attain where saving and investment, that is where the capital is equal in means if we have the investment, that means we are do that investment for the generation of capital, or we are going to increase the capital stock. So in order to keep the capital equal to saving, we have to multiply it with the actual growth rate. So we have to multiply it with the actual growth rate that we have done over here. So what we do, we will put these three values into equation 1 that we have done. Delta change divided by delta y is equal to multiply by delta change, delta y, and saving income ratio. So here what does it mean by what is delta k? Basically delta k, now I'm going to explain what is delta k. Delta k is change in investment, means change in prior, or you can say earlier capital on specific time period or a given time period. We already have the capital. After that capital we have additional capital, is known as change in capital, change in capital. Change in capital also used as delta k is equal to investment. So we are now instead of delta k in our equation, we are going to use the I sign. So now our equation is change in delta y over y multiplied by I divided by delta y is equal to saving income ratio. Now what we have done, we have here we have divided the equation by delta y. We have multiply with delta y. So by multiplying by delta y, so both of them both of on both sides it will get cut by delta y. Then what we have, y over I n is equal to s over I. So in the end we are basically get the value. Basically we the basic purpose is to get that value which is I is equal to s. It means that I is equal to s means steady state growth rate. So this is the ultimate point. This is our equilibrium point where investment is equal to saving. This is what we want, because where S and I are equal, our economy attain the point of steady state growth rate. So this is the the answer of first question, which is actual growth rate. Like how the first question raised by Harrod, which is how can steady growth can be achieved with fixed saving, income and capital output ratio. So the answer of this question is we have discussed just now. And in the end, when I is equal to S, this is the point where we achieve our economy is on equilibrium, and we achieve the point of steady state growth rate. So the warranted growth rate and natural growth rate we are discussed in upcoming slides.